Please go to the next one. Please raise your hand if you believe that anyone can write a book. Please raise your hand. It seems that we have like 50-50, but let's go. The answer is a plain yes. Everyone can write books, but let's proceed. So how can I begin to write my book? Let's go. The first way that most people think is about motivation. If you have a strong motivation, of course you can write a book. That's the easy thing. But does everyone has any motivation? That's a different topic. I wouldn't say that I have everyday motivation to go to the gym or to eat healthy. Let's go to the next one. This one for me is a more interesting one. I call it knowledge and experience. Maybe you have a job, you don't have a career, which are two different things. But your job gives you experience and knowledge, even if you don't like it. That's a completely different topic. And that can allow you to write a book. Let's go to the next one. The third one is curiosity. You might lack the knowledge, the experience, and the motivation. But if you're curious about a topic, like maybe you would like to know how to do handshakes and to start walking or to do some stars, you will be curious to learn and develop that knowledge and expertise. But I will say that there is one that is more powerful and that works for me. To have a point to prove. Who of this place is an immigrant? Someone who is not from Spain or from a European Union country or something like that. So wherever you go as an immigrant, you need to prove to the locals your value. You need to prove to the people that you're worthy to be here, that you need to get a job and other things. And it's just a simple example. When you have a point to prove, you will work harder and do more during your adventure. For example, this is my latest experiment that I started a year ago. It's like 3 or 4 times longer than my thesis. I have written 93,000 words, and just between yesterday and today, I wrote like 100 or 200, not 100, 200 words more. And what I'm doing is a lot of research and investigation. And if you ask me, hey Federico, so you wanted to be a writer? No, I wanted to be a scientist. Maybe I will be writing papers, and this is not a scientific paper. This is a, let's call it an edutainment book. Let's go after. But how can I start? Let's proceed. Well, a simple thing that you can do is to create a blog. This is how I started. I just wanted to write a story so people could discover that El Salvador was not a violent and dangerous place where people only die, being treated and being healed. So I started to translate everything I knew into English. As simple as that. You can start with a blog. You don't need to become J.K. Rowling or anything like that. Just start with something easy. You can go to blogger.com, create a small blog, and start sharing your ideas. And tools that I recommend: Grammarly, Scriven, and ChatGPT+. Why I highlight that? You don't want to give up your data to OpenAI. If you want to write a book, but you want that OpenAI is going to publish it for you, go and do it for free. I encourage you to pay the $20 and you will save that extra effort. But how do you publish a book? That is a different topic. The traditional way, you can use search for publishers, but this is like a little bit difficult thing because they might not listen to you. This is like a business environment. If you're going to approach them, they are like this, like angel investors. Either you know the knowledge or you don't have it, and it will be a little bit tough. But we're living in a world that you can use a self-publishing environment. And there is a way even to get clients. For example, I met someone from India a couple of years ago, and our colleagues from India would know, they have large families. That person has done everything in their life. And he sold more than 1,000 books, just because his entire family bought the book. So these are options that you can consider. But if you are going to go to self-publishing, I recommend you to hire a proofreader, because this is offered by the publishers. And trust me, you don't want to publish something that has a lot of grammatical mistakes that no one is going to buy it, or will be a little bit suspicious of your quality or professionality. The next part, I'm sure you're wondering, so can I become a bestseller or do these things randomly and to get a lot of money? The plain answer is, not necessarily. I don't want to scam you or tell you that I'm selling you my new course. Because if you want them, they are here. These guys are ready for you, waiting for you to sell you their courses. And the part of the bestsellers, we're living in different times. This guy published a book 12 years before. No one bought his novel. Then his daughter published a TikTok video and he became a bestseller. So you can see that everything can happen completely randomly. He worked for 14 years, no one read his book, then his daughter published a TikTok video, and well, he became famous. So let's go to questions and answers that we have.
We have 5 minutes for questions and answers.
What writer has inspired you the most to write your book? If there is one.
The thing is that for me the most influential writer is J.K. Rowling, because he's the person that allowed me, or let's say encouraged me to be here in front of you and don't become let's say a criminal. Because let's say my teachers in the school thought I would become a gang leader. They didn't think I had any future at all. And my dad thought I would become a banana seller. So I will say that Harry Potter saved my life.
Okay. Have you ever planned to send your stories or something to a writing contest?
No, I published already 2 books, but I'm right now writing a 3rd book that I plan to
Because
send.
there's a site called Poets and Writers, and there are some competitions. Maybe some of them has fees, some of them does not. Maybe you can send them, but I don't know. Maybe even if they don't select it, I don't know if they can use your ideas or whatever. I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what would you like. Would you like to do something like that or not?
I have never thought about
Because
it.
they give a lot of awards if they like your writings. It depends on what you're writing. I don't know what kind of things you're writing, like short stories or scripts or whatever.
No, the current one is one lengthy book that is about a story, but is quite political story. I'm not sure if it's exactly the best kind of book to sell. I try to educate people, but it's a very political one because it tries to help people understand many things that we're having huge misunderstandings.
What do you think the advantages of traditional big 5 publishers over self-publishing?
The first benefit is that you have a proofreader that is going to do the work for you instead of trying to hire this part. The second one is advertisements. If you don't know Kim Kardashian or a very huge influencer, you are on your own. You need to figure it out who is going to support you. For example, in my case, it has been my embassies all across the globe. But if you don't know anyone or you have no support, good luck. It's like the other guy. He had a traditional publisher, but you see, like the benefit is, hey, I created a TikTok video. My dad was not exactly very famous, but I think that you should read my book. And then he became viral. This is where the publisher works.
What's your primary goal or reason for writing?
The beginning of when I started to write, it was to change the perspective that people have about El Salvador. Because I used to live in Poland and people knew nothing about my country. The only person that existed in Wikipedia was not even Nayib Bukele, the president of El Salvador. Was a random TikToker, a random YouTuber that we had no clue who he was. And how I started this was so simple. I was having a date and the girl was saying, but they're not going to kill us as soon as we reach to your land. Mm-hmm. Are you sure that the security guard is not going to call the gangs and tell that we're here? You know, I'm blonde and I'm very nice. Are you sure that they're not going to kill me? So imagine to have this kind of conversations all the time, suddenly it became quite annoying and I decided I had to do something. Because unfortunately, no one had written the books I wrote. That's why they are written in English, not in Spanish. Because my goal was what I should do so people who don't speak Spanish discover that El Salvador is an amazing country.
Did you get rejected by the publisher?
No, because in the first times I went as a self-publishing, but right now I think I have the support and I say numbers, especially that support me for going to the publisher. Because I'm not going randomly this time. I have a proven track record and I have already a return on investment. Maybe I'm not a millionaire yet, but I already have, when I go to the publisher, guys, there are numbers that support me.
What is your marketing strategy? Like how do you ensure that you actually sell books?
The first one, as I said, I started to contact every embassy I knew. And in the beginning, it's like when I approached my first embassy in Germany, I said, "Did you write a book in English?" Just straight away, they expected a book in Spanish, and it's, yeah, I wrote in English. Man, we had nothing that was like that. So then my embassy started to work with me. Then I contacted the people inside, let's say, the government. I started to spam them. Believe me, the embassies are here to serve you guys. If you don't contact your embassy, you're self-screening yourself. They are here to help you. But most of the time, we believe that the embassies are there, well, they are just giving for my passport. Really? If you are not a Spanish guy, you need to contact these guys. They are here to serve you. We pay taxes, so these people are here. And if you don't pay those taxes, they have no salaries. So that's how I started to contact them. And then that's how we started to work. Then I started to create TikTok videos. I started to write articles and other things. But you need to be active. That's why the publisher helps you to avoid to do all the things that I did. If I could have found an easier way in the past, it would have been easier. But the thing is, I love to work in IT, and I don't plan to retire to being an IT guy. So I had to choose.
Thank you. Round of applause.